Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day so far and surviving Cyber Monday. Hope everybody's doing good. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare live chat. We do this every Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And it's always a fun time. We start off with a bunch of hellos, highs, and all that. And if you can tell me where you're from, what you're growing, that would be great. And it's always a good time. So halfway through or partway through, we are going to be, I'll be introducing a topic of discussion, and we can discuss whatever you guys want homestead related. So let's get started. Family friendly comments only, please. All righty. Steve says only 41 more minutes. You must have been here early. I know Dawn was early too. And Aaron, I think. Welcome, Steve. Oh, and Silver Peak says, dang, I thought I would be first. Man, you guys are eager for this, huh? Welcome, Tommy. Aaron says, I was the first comment, but I don't see it now. Aaron, you have Dawn's symptom now of having the first comment and having it disappear. Welcome, Aaron. Verna, hey, Katrina. Welcome, Verna. You guys will see Verna Vay's place in blue. She with a little wrench. She catches all the bad guys. She's my moderator. If you are interested at all in raising animals in a small space, she raises food, animals, and plants in her apartment. So check out her channel. All right. Hey, Mandy made it. Folster Farms. Welcome. Good to see you. She says, hey, all. Dawn says, I don't remember if I left a comment or not, but I think it was first like. Don't remember. Been too much going on here past few days. Aw. Dawn, we appreciate you. Thank you. And welcome. Yeah, I understand. Lots of stuff going on. We drove back from my parents last night. Well, yesterday. We left there at like 10, got here at like 9 something. Maybe left there at like 11. Anyway, long drive. And yeah, there you go. Hey, Kelly's here. Feather Connections Homestead. You're at the market, freezing, but checking in. Kelly, they have a market at night in Utah in winter? Where are you? Well, try and stay warm, and we're thinking about you. And Buster's here. Hey to all. Hey, Buster. Welcome. All right, everybody's saying hi to everybody. And Verna says, well, looking at your phone when everybody answered. Hey, that's okay. If you haven't seen Verna's video about her kits, she has some kits for her rabbits, and they're doing good. That is awesome, Verna. Yeah, and that's Buster says, Verna, how are your kits? She just put out a video, a short one. Yeah, they are wonderful. So Verna says, I see lavenders and broken by looks of them. You know, I haven't gotten into the different colors of rabbits because mainly the rabbits that I have are a mixture, and they're either going to look like a Californian or look like a Black New Zealand, or, you know, black, like the two ones that now have names. If you missed last time, our black ladies are Penne and Risotto, and they are black. So I think they're going to look like Mom, who is Tortellini, but they do have white, kind of not patches, but little white hairs every once in a while. So it's pretty cool. Yeah. Mandy's waving. All right. Everybody's saying hi. Where are the dad jokes? Well, I don't know. Mandy, just count. Eric isn't here yet. I don't know. But I am wearing, see if I can go up a little bit. I'm wearing, last time we talked about manure and scat and all that. So I'm wearing my endangered feces shirt just for you guys. If anybody's offended by that, sorry. Yeah. There you go. And Verna is saying, Mandy, those kits didn't have a covering of fur over them today. Guess are warm though. Yeah, so Verna, I thought up until the point that we took care of Meatball's babies after she passed, I thought Mom was uncovering them, and Mom wasn't here, so that was not the case. They got warm when they were in the house, and they uncovered themselves. When it cooled off a little bit, they burrowed in and went there. So I think while Mom does do that when she sees them and visits them, they actually do a lot of that heat regulation with the fur and with the hay by themselves. So that's pretty interesting. Silver Creek says, "What up, y'all? Hi." I took today off, so I'll be going back to work tomorrow. I think that was smart of me to travel one day and then take the day off the next day. I think that's a good idea. I'm trying to get this right. All right. Oh, Eric was here earlier. He said he'd be back. Awesome. Must have been here really early. And Verna says, "Tommy, love the name you're using." Yep. Sailor Creek Wildlife. Yep. It's good. You ate dinner before the stream, Verna? I didn't. I did, however, have some atole de nuez today. And if you haven't had that, and you have an authentic Mexican restaurant near you, you should ask them if they have it. Because it is a warm drink that is thick with masa, which is a corn flour, and the little pyramid of sugars that I always mispronounce, and pecans and milk. And it's very yummy and very, very hot. Out of focus a little. Am I better? Let me wipe the camera here. I don't know. Is that better? I just wiped it with my thumb. Probably wasn't the best choice. I don't have a microfiber over here. Oh, boy. Ed says, "Hi, all." Hi, Ed. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Orlando's here. Welcome. Says, "Hello from New York." Hello from California. All right, more in focus now. Okay, but you wrote that before I did my little thumb thing. I don't know. Oh, so Folster Farms. I had a poem I put on my personal one. I do have another channel. It only has one video on it, and I did it with my time frame before April. That was I got to start another channel before April, and I did it, and it only has one video, an intro video. So I will be focusing between now and the end of the year to get stuff up. I have recorded a lot of things on there, and that's one of the things I want to put on there is a poem that I wrote that she apparently read already. Yeah, I'll share that with you guys later when I get stuff on it, or maybe now. I don't know. We'll get there. But it's basically I sing to like as a meditation, just like whatever's in my head comes out, and so that's what that channel is mostly going to be. I'm also going to it's more sensory stuff. I'm also going to be having things like I have video, or it's a video, but it's going to be black, but just the sound of rain on the tin roof and like the wind chimes you guys heard in the week in review today. That'll be one of the videos. It's just sound, some of the other sound based stuff, and then some poems. So anyway, there you go. Thank you a lot, Mandy. Verna is talking about the rabbits. Some call them blues, but they remind me more of lavender. All right. If they're offended, they don't know scat. Yep. And Folster Farms is laughing. Endangered species. I love it. Yep. And yeah, so I got this shirt actually at a white elephant gift at work. I am a wildlife biologist by trade, so that the humor's there, right? And we worked a lot with endangered species. And actually, what all have I surveyed for? Well, these are all over the place. That one I've surveyed for that one. This one I've actually surveyed for poop. Same one, King Kit Fox. And okay, a lot of the stuff doesn't live here. But bighorn sheep, survey for them. And I've seen flying squirrels, but not that. Anyway, a handful. Anyway, yeah, so Steve says I always take a just in case day after time off. It's a good idea. It really is. I mean, I had to do some stuff. I had to go to the DMV, had to go to the post office. It's not, I have not mailed stuff yet, Verna, or I guess I didn't see. So Aaron, I have not mailed your guys' stuff out yet, but I will. Bob's here. Hi there. Hi, Bob. Welcome. All right. Waves up. It goes in out with me moving. Okay, I'll try to stay still. So yeah, we talked about scat last time. I forgot to tell you guys a story about there was a guy at a job site that always wanted to learn a new word or learn a new thing, and so I was just talking about some scat that I saw, and scat is poop, right? And so then he said something that I found absolutely hilarious and totally unrelated. Is basically he said, so is that why scatterbrained is called scatterbrained? I said no. It was funny though. Yeah. It says, so you're going to have an ASMR channel. Not quite, but there's some sound-based stuff. I don't know. Maybe not ASMR. Anyway, you can call it whatever you would like. We'll have to. I have it up. There's one video up. It's the intro video. So I will, once I get more up, I'll introduce you guys to that again. All right. Poop stream. Okay, Buster has a question for Bob. Have you figured out anything on your hatching yet? For those wondering why Buster's asking Bob this, Bob lives at almost 8,000 feet elevation and has been trying to figure out some stuff for quail hatching. So, Bob, you're on. Mandy says, news perspective on wordplay. I like it. Exactly. Dirty laundry channel. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I went up to my parents, had a good time. If you guys watched the weekend review, you kind of got a glimpse of what I got to see. Actually had stars out, did not have stars out without the bright moon, but it's a whole lot of stars that we just don't ever see here. Like where I am in Gilroy, there's too many lights, there's too much light pollution, and you can't see up to the stars really. I mean, there's like clear nights here, but when you go up to my parents, you're like, oh, that's what they're supposed to look like. I remember now. It's totally different. Yeah. Steve says, when my shirts have scat on it, I toss it in the washer, not wear it. These are special. It's special. It's funny. Verna says, I hope you rinse it off the toilet first. Oh my gosh. Verna, we're not asking him how it got there. We're not asking him that. Oh boy. So, did everybody have turkey, or does somebody have something other than turkey for Thanksgiving? My mom made a turkey, and we had the pumpkin pie that we made. PJ's not on, I don't think, but PJ and I and whoever was spying on us made in the Katrina's Kits Cook With Me Live. We had that, and my mom also made fudge nut pie. That was good. She made stuffing of some sort and spinach and mashed potatoes, and I made gravy. Yeah, whipped cream for the pie. There you go. I want to know what you guys had. If you had turkeys, who saved the carcass? I am going to be making turkey stock. It's really going to be a turkey bone broth that I'm going to make into a kind of a soup, because the way I make it, I think it's just going to be best to make a broth soup. Like, I don't need to put the meat part in it, but make it into like a vegetable soup, because I have a bunch of potatoes. I have celery, not celery. I think I have celery, but I also have lovage, like dehydrated lovage that I just haven't been using. So what I plan to do is make the bone broth and then actually can that into just jars of soup that I can dump out and use as a base, so I can add things to it. So I think that'll be pretty good. I've decided what all I'll put in it, but I'll definitely have a video showing you guys that process for sure. Mandy says, Dan and Daniel cooked hamburgers on the grill because I bailed out and went to Florida. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, they got something. They ate something. Hope you had fun. Ed says, I had dumplings with a side dish of dumplings times 2 from Cracker Barrel. You must like dumplings. I've had good dumplings and not so good dumplings. Yeah. Berna says, I freeze dry the meat and put the bones in the freezer for now. That sounds good. That sounds good. Sounds like your frozen turkey went well. That's good. Yeah, it's a pretty small turkey. It was not that much bigger than chicken. I mean, it was bigger than chicken, but I don't know how many pounds it was. But I took the carcass home because my mom would just throw it away. So there you go. Buster says, I smoked 2 turkeys. Mom saved the carcasses and froze them. Awesome. Hopefully she'll make something yummy with them. Steve says, Ed, you ate my favorite meal from there. Oh my gosh, you guys like Cracker Barrel, huh? Folster Farms, Cracker Barrel for the win. I don't know that I've ever been there. Yeah, Verna got 5 meals of freeze-dried turkey in bags. Awesome. Yeah, when I left for Oregon, I was partway through making salsa from homegrown tomatoes, and so I need to finish that. Excuse me. I need to finish that. I need to thaw them because I actually froze what I made, and then thaw them to finish making them. But I did that before I left. Thank you, Verna. And yeah, so I need to do that. I started filming the first part of that, but haven't gotten to the second part yet. So yeah. And Verna says, I've never eaten a Cracker Barrel. Me neither. And Mandy says, what? Someone take that girl to Cracker Barrel. Quick. Oh boy. Oh, Ed says he doesn't like Cracker Barrel, but that's about all I will eat from there. Okay. Thank you for the blessings, guys. Hey, Val's here. Hello, all. Hi, Val. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing? We're talking about Thanksgiving, what we ate. I don't believe you do that where you are, right? Do you guys have a similar holiday? I think you're in Europe somewhere, right? Yeah, we're talking about saving the turkey carcass, and we're going to make some bone broth and some soup base. Probably this week, which means it'll probably be next week before you guys see it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Verna's allergic to MSG. That's not good. Yeah. So those are my plans for the turkey. My mom made a day after Thanksgiving turkey pizza. It was okay. She had bought a pizza crust and then put gravy and then mashed potatoes and corn and turkey and gravy on the top and cooked it like a pizza, and it was okay. I would have done something different with it, but it was a good thing. Yeah. Mandy says, eek, well, I'm not dead yet, so I would go Death by Cracker Barrel anytime. Oh boy. Yeah. Val says, no, we don't have Thanksgiving. We have turkey at Christmas. I know you don't have Thanksgiving. I was wondering if there was something similar that you guys have that. But you do have turkey at Christmas. So you get to learn the bone broth stuff, unless you already know it. That will be on soon. That's cool. Verna says, I have to process many quail first before I can think of bone broth. Yeah, so usually I end up doing bone broth with whatever bones are there. But I think my mom tried a new way of cooking the turkey, and it was a little drier. So like the neck, we didn't have, it wasn't very tender. So like there's a lot of meat on there. So I think just having it be turkey will be just fine, because it's going to have a lot more flavor from some of the meat that didn't actually make it onto a plate. Yeah. Buster says, Verna family is chipping in on freeze dryer. Yes, that is exciting, Buster. That is exciting. Thanksgiving pizza. Yeah, Mandy. It's okay. It's okay. I would not buy a pizza crust. I would make one, but yeah, try it. And Verna is asking Val, what is your last harvest celebration? Okay. And you make bone broth, Val. That's awesome. Awesome. So the secret ingredient in bone broth that I use is apple cider vinegar. It's just a little splash. Some people use a lemon. Some people use tomato. It just has a little bit extra acid to help get those minerals out of the bones and into the broth. So that is the tip, the quick tip. Yeah, and they're fun. So, well, you guys ready for the topic of the day? Let's see. Mandy says, being from the South, I feel that gravy is appropriate on everything. Just saying. You know, biscuits and gravy is one of my favorite things to get like at a restaurant for breakfast, just because I don't do it myself. But I haven't been to a place that actually makes it right anymore. Like I've had ones that taste like onion. I've had others that like doesn't have any black pepper in it at all. I'm like, that's like the seasoning of it. Anyway, I do like the correct gravy. Val says we have a fall festival, but we don't have a day off. Yep. Steve says gravy is a drink down here. Oh gosh. Yeah, and Verna says, with having to process all the quail, I will be adding quail spines and feet to the broth. Yep. Thank you, Ed. Secret ingredient in bone broth is bones. I don't know that that's secret. I don't know that that was a secret. And Buster says, I picked fresh turnips and Mom made turnips with greens. I've never actually had like a dish with turnips. I had like a few of them that actually came up one year. I've never actually had a dish made with it. Steve says, can you mix beef, pork, chicken, etc. bones all in bone broth? Absolutely. The last bone broth I did was rabbit and quail, and it had some beef bones that I had. I just had a couple in the freezer from before, and you can absolutely do that. And it's just it depends on what you want your base to taste like, and if you're fine with all of those flavors together, then that's fine. If you're wanting a beef broth and you're wanting a chicken broth and you're wanting a whatever broth, you can do different ones. Yeah. Yeah. Val says our gravy isn't anything like yours. I would like to know how you make your gravy. I make mine with the drippings and flour and a little bit of salt and pepper. That's what I make it with. Yeah. Actually, I do have a video on canning, basically the It's the drippings is what it is. It's the broth that comes out of the turkey separately. And so you can actually have gravy later. You should not can gravy with the flour in it already. You can can the stuff, though, the liquid part, and then add the flour and the seasonings. You can add the seasonings then if you want, but add the flour and seasonings at a later point when you open the jar. And that actually works really, really good because you can have gravy when it's not gravy season, right? Yeah. Fulster saying yes to Steve's a drink. Oh, geez. Verna, you have to render tallow? Where did you get tallow from? I want to know where the tallow came from. Venison bone broth. Okay. Dawn says, I can't stand venison bone broth. It's the smell. So I made it 50-50 with beef. Tasted great, but that wild smell from the venison was still there. Had to hold my nose to drink it. You know, I haven't venison is not a great tasting meat to me. I've heard that it can get rid of some of the gaminess flavor if you can it, because there's something with the processing that tenderizes some things and gets things out. I've not done that. I also have never been the one to actually process it, so I don't know if these are hanging when they're, hanging and getting all the blood out, or if they are going through rigor mortis process, or if they, if they're hunted, they might be freaked out. There is some stress hormone. So I don't know what, I know people go crazy for venison, and I would be willing to try it again, but I'm not someone that's going to go after it like on purpose. Like I might say, okay, I'll take some of that and try it. But yeah, gravy season. I'm in the South. That's what every day. Oh boy. Steve. Val says we use the dripping and gravy browning. I don't know what gravy browning is. Ed says where Steve lives, it's every meal as snacks. Oh boy. Oh, okay. Verna says it is beef fat from a beef loin I bought a while back. Threw the fat in the freezer. I did not know there was enough fat on beef loin in the store to get that. It's good. Good luck with that. Buster says venison soak in salt water. All right. Next time someone offers me a deer, I will try this, which is no one's ever offered me a deer. Mandy says, I usually harvest at least one doe per year with my trusty Ram 1500. You work with what you got. I hit a deer and the deer hit me at the same time. I saw it coming. I was slamming on the brakes. It saw me coming. It was trying to stop and jumped at last minute and went off the hood, went through and went over to the side, spun, fell over, fell down, got up, looked at me, and went off. I got out. There wasn't even a nick on the hood, and so I count that lucky. Yeah. Yeah. So Val, it depends on where venison came from and what it ate. I've had ones that eat in sagebrush habitat, and I've had them in Iowa, basically corn-fed, right? So, yeah. But yeah, I can see that as being true. Dawn says 2 local butchers gave me all the venison bones for bone broth I could handle, but I couldn't stand the smell. Interesting. And Steve says, did you know when you skim off the bone broth and save it when you get enough, filter it, you can use it to cook with like lard? That makes sense. That makes sense. I was blessed, Verna says. Oh, to not hit the deer? Yeah. Yeah. It was interesting. You have a dent collection, Mandy? Oh boy. All right. It's not funny, but it is. I know someone who shot her truck because her scope was on her rifle when she was shooting on the other side of the truck, rats. So there's a lesson. There's a lesson. Don't trust your scope if you're shooting up close. Dawn says to Steve, it's great to cook veggies in instead of butter or oil too. That makes sense. Steve says Mandy's insurance company pays for her deer. Yeah, should you be talking about that now? No. How funny. All right, so nobody had something other than turkey for Thanksgiving? That's okay. You don't have to have anything other than turkey. That's the American way. All right, so I am going to talk about we're talking about deer. All right. Deer chili is good. I've had elk stew. Elk is good. I like elk. Yeah. Chili makes everything better. Chili for me is a dish that I make when I have leftover meat from something or meat that I want to use. And it's kind of a all in the pot kind of a thing. That's how I make it. In fact, someone asked me one time, Manuel volunteered me one time for potluck. Oh, Katrina will make chili because he liked my chili. And I was like, we don't have any meat. I'm going to have to make meat to make my chili. So I had to do more steps, but it turned out good. Anyway. What? Steve? Coyote? I don't want to kill coyotes. Coyotes are nice. Yeah. Val says, I never have turkey at Christmas. I have beef or pork. All right. I think here for Christmas, people do a turkey, ham, or goose. I've only had goose once, and it is delicious. It's like cow, but better, I think. Yeah. Dawn says, I had turkey for Thanksgiving, but I won't eat ham for Christmas. Told hubby he can get him a ham. I'll do quail in my new Ninja Combi oven. Awesome. I've heard of those. Awesome. Oh, Mandy's heading out. Gotta run, guys. Long day tomorrow. I just wanted to pop in, say hi, and show some love. Welcome and good night. Thanks for stopping by. She says good night, y'all. Good night. Ed says, I do deer barbecue, put deer meat in crock pot with whatever barbecue you like, cook meat till meat falls apart. Strain out the barbecue and add fresh barbecue. Why strain it out? Does that pull stuff out of the meat? I've heard that milk also pulls that flavor out of the meat. Yeah. Yeah, goose is expensive here. Val says, yeah, it's expensive everywhere. I've never seen it in the store, in fact. I just know that people sometimes have it. And turkey is very dry. I wonder if that's in the type of cooking or in the actual birds that you get from the store. It's not a pretty bird, but I have a New Wave 17-quart New Wave, which is it's a pressure cooker, but it's big. It's big enough for a smallish turkey, and it doesn't come out looking like the beautiful turkey, but it comes out delicious and like super, super, super moist. So that's something to try with a small one. Yeah. All right. So today's topic, I'm going to bring up. Oh, but first, Verna says, I cook my turkey in a turkey-size oven bags, not dry. I've heard of doing that. I think it's weird to put bags in an oven. I'm sure it works. People do it all the time. All right. So I want to talk about heaters. So I have a wall heater. You guys can see it right there. And I just turned it on today. I know a lot of people are already in winter and have had things running for a while. But I want to make sure that everybody has everything they need going with regard to their heaters, because my wall heater, I'm sure this is the case with many people. I don't dust it I don't dust it. It doesn't get dusted. I always forget until I turn it on. I'm like, oh, well, that's the smell of winter. That smell of burning dust. Dust it before you turn it on. But anyway, so that's one. Dust things before you turn them on. Two is to make sure you have your carbon monoxide meter working. I would also check the batteries in your if your smoke detectors still have batteries, that style. Check your smoke detectors because turning on a furnace should keep you warm and it should not exterminate you. So that is my quick topic of discussion. And if you guys heard that, that was my house warming up. A little crack across the ceiling. This is an old house, so it cracks when it gets the temperature fluctuation. And anyway, so that's the safety thing. And we have another safety thing, unfortunately. Oh, don't stab yourself in the leg with an awl. Yeah, why am I saying that? Manuel did that at work today. So, be careful where your tools are. If you're moving at a fast pace, make sure your tools aren't going to fall out and get stuck somewhere and hurt you or things like that. So that is my public service announcement. There we go. All right, go scroll back up. Ed says deep fried turkey is the best. I still have not had one of those. Steve says I cook turkey in oven all night on lower degree, always moist. And Verna says, away from keyboard, Lucy is out and too cold to keep the door open. Uh-oh. Ed says it's laughing at me. You moved the camera and it's not focusing. So I look Japanese. Hopefully he's back. And Val says those bags are toxic to birds live and things like hamsters when in oven. Oh, is that like the is that kind of like how Teflon affects things? It's the off-gassing of it? I did not know that, but it makes sense that would be the case. So be careful with it. Yeah. Don says to Verna, your weather is really close to mine. It's going to be 17 tonight here. I am sure you will be pretty cold there. Okay, is it refocused? Hopefully it's refocused. Anyway. Yeah, at my parents, I think the coldest it was there when we were there was 18. And it was like 40s and 50s in the daytime. That's what I grew up with in the winter. You know, it gets colder. They're getting colder now. But yeah, I think it's, I can't see the temperature thing from here, but we're not getting down to freezing here. Yeah. Buster says, I blow my heaters out with air compressor. That's smart. I don't have an air compressor. Manuel does, but I never know if it's here or at work. So yeah. That is smart, Buster. Remind me that next winter before I turn on my heater. It doesn't take long for it to kind of burn off, but it's okay. It's okay. Steve says, why do your safety issues always involve Manuel? Not a question for me. My safety issue was going to be starting the heater. I had that in my head before he hurt himself. It says, did he hurt himself again? Next time, send him to work in bubble wrap. Thinking about it. My back. Thanks, Verna. Steve says, Val, I think if the hamsters are in the oven, that would be toxic enough. Oh, boy. Steve. Yeah, Val, about the cook bags. Yeah. Verna says, 35 for the high today. Focus good now. Okay. And low tonight will be 20 degrees at Verna's place. We're not getting that cold. The my humongous volunteer squash plant finally, it has some green bits on it, but I think it's pretty much dead. I need to give it to the birds so they can finish off the rest of it. Yeah. Vacuum cleaner on exhaust. Yep. Good ideas. I just use my duster thingy. It's supposed to pick things up. I don't know. It does and it doesn't. But you can't really get in there with that. You do need something to kind of spray it out or yeah. Good tips. Ed's wanting to know from Verna if she's getting snow. Yeah, there's a cycle going through, or a system going through much of the United States. I think we're getting like a little bit of the rain. I don't think we're supposed to get a lot of it. I think it's mostly like here to Midway. Yeah. So Verna says the trick with cooking bags is low temp. If you go over 350 degrees with them, then yes, not good. I do it at 300 instead. Okay. And no snow. All right. Who has snow right now? Does anybody have snow right now? Like on the ground? Okay, Ed says some of Ohio's getting it. And Verna says no snow here, but New Mexico. Oh, Matt at Grafter Branch will get snow again. Yeah. Yeah, so for those people who might have snow, I have made snow ice cream. So yeah, you can do that. Maybe I am going to a place that might have snow during Christmas time. So if there is, we might make some snow ice cream. Buster says, what does a tomatillo taste like? A tomatillo. So I don't think I've ever seen people eat tomatillos raw. You may be able to. It may be good. I don't know. But they are basically, if you've ever had a green salsa, the green is usually a tomatillo. Usually. Sometimes people like Americans, sometimes people use green tomatoes for the green salsa. But it is, if you go to any of the Mexican restaurants or any of the Mexican, food trucks or whatever, and you get green salsa, it's usually going to be tomatillo. So it's similar in taste to green tomato cooked. So again, this is a cooked thing, but it's not all the way. How do I explain this? I guess that's the closest I would say is next time you get chili verde or something like that will probably be in the sauce. I don't think it's all chilies. I think it's tomatillo and chilies. Anyway, that is, I guess the best way I can explain it is it's like a green tomato that is used for cooking. But not people don't always use green tomatoes for cooking, so I don't know. Anybody else explain it better? Yeah. No me snow. Oh, you don't need the snow ice cream, Ed. Okay, Val says we are forecasted midweek. I wouldn't too toxic for the snow. Maybe. I don't know. Too toxic. Or are we talking about tomatillo? Tomatillos aren't toxic. That is a food. But snow ice cream, yuck. Okay, so tart and almost citrusy, Steve says. The taste of tomatillo. I would not agree with you. I would say there is a hint of that. It's not like eating a lemon or eating a citrus fruit, but there's like a little hint of that flavor. Yeah. Okay, Verna says snow in city areas, too much pollution. That's probably true. Probably true. Maybe not the first snow. You got to do like snow later on once everything's trapped underneath. Yeah, we did it growing up. Snow ice cream. We did that growing up, And yeah, it's snow, whipping cream, and flavoring. So vanilla flavoring or whatever flavoring you want to put in it, and we're literally whip it together, and it's really good. But yeah, like Verna says, you might want to choose where you're getting the snow from. Yeah, or not, or choose not to do it. Yeah. All right. So, does anybody else have any other safety things come up? Since I was just gonna have it be on the heater, but any other safety things to think about? I was just thinking, make sure people have those carbon monoxide rate sensors, because that is something that is silent, and not the sensor. Sensors should not be silent, but carbon monoxide is a silent killer. So we want to make sure that we're safe. Yeah. Steve says snow ice cream, yum, snow on ground, bad. Never eat yellow snow, Val says. Yep. And Buster's saying the same thing. You guys must think he's going to go after the yellow. It's not lemon or brown or pink. Right. Oh, a little food coloring, you never know. Oh boy. Note to self, don't eat food offered by Steve. Oh boy. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the safety thing, I was just wanting to do the heater and carbon monoxide, but really just kind of maybe about snow, like shoveling snow, taking your time, not falling on ice, get some what are they called? Crampons. And I think Verna has a different pair, diamond something or something diamond, so you don't fall on your butt. Yeah. Oh wow, Val. Val says my next door neighbors both died 3 weeks ago from carbon monoxide poisoning. Wow. Timely topic. That's I mean, that is scary. I'm sure you have updated your carbon monoxide sensors since then. I hope you have. If you start feeling what does carbon monoxide poisoning look like? Oftentimes, people are just found in their bed sleeping, which is not good. If you are getting lightheaded, or your focus is getting off, or you're getting sleepy, I believe those are all signs of that, and you should, if it's for no reason, turn off your stove if they're at your stove, because that can happen at the stove as well. Anything that's a gas appliance, and basically get out of the house into fresh air. And people sometimes need medical attention after that, even though they're alive. They can still have effects. So yeah, I do not want to die like that. I mean, it's supposedly you fall asleep and there you go, but I still wouldn't want to do that. Brown snow does not make chocolate ice cream. It does not. Diamond cleats. Okay, that was the other one. Yeah, Buster says, Val, sorry for that. Yep. Verna says carbon monoxide gets low, so kids and animals are more they get it more. If I remember correctly. Yep. It goes from low to high. So it fills up low and goes to high. And I mean, that's kind of like the carbon dioxide chambers that we were talking about for reptile feeders. It's because it goes low. The gas is lower than the air. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, just pay attention to it. Make sure you have your sensors and that they're working. Yeah. Val says it was awful. They were found as if they were watching TV. Elderly couple. Yeah, I'm sorry. Verna says it's lighter than air. It affects adults first. I don't know which way it is then. I thought it was lower, but because that's why they have the detectors low. I don't know. Just be careful. And Buster says, I use propane for heat. I have carbon monoxide alarms in every room. Good, good, good. Oh, it's a blocked chimney? Yeah, I guess that's the other thing to check is a chimney. Have you had your chimney swept? Is the flue open or closed? Is your flue working? That's another thing to check for both a fireplace and a stove, and to get those cleared and cleaned out. That's a really good thing. I mean, it's a really good idea to do. Yeah, for sure. This is the first time I've turned on the heater and haven't had the smoke alarm go off, so I guess I tested it okay. That the smoke alarm's not working. Usually that happens. Oh no, crows were nesting in the chimney. Boy, that's something I didn't expect. Yeah. So propane and gas are the ones that I know about that have carbon monoxide risk. Are there any others that you guys can think of, just to make sure that everybody's safe? Thinking about these things. And hang on. All right. All right. What is this to? Okay, it is lighter. Okay, it is lighter than air. Will always rise to the ceiling. Interesting. Okay, so apparently I need to probably get a second carbon monoxide thing tester, because the one I have is lower, and it is the one, like, that's what it says to do, is put it low. Yeah. Oil central heating. That's something that I don't know we have here, or at least where I am, but that makes sense. Verna says you should also place a detector in any room situated directly above your garage. The specific gravity carbon monoxide is 0.965857. Yeah. It will float towards the ceiling because it's lighter than air. That makes sense. Put it above your doorway in the bedroom. Yeah. And Val says they're really cheap on Amazon. And you have oil central heating. Awesome. Yeah, that's a good thing to know. I was thinking it sinks. I was thinking it sinks. Yeah. Maybe I'll go to Lowe's after this. Oh boy. Yeah, the one I have plugs in to outlet, and it has a battery part. Yeah. Verna has to go find Lucy. Oh, left her out in the cold. Yeah, maybe I'll get another one in the bedroom. Yeah. Okay, Val says the sensors. I wanted to call them a centaur. The sensors are really cheap on Amazon. That's good. Good. Don't let your cars warm up inside a closed garage. Yep, that too. Yeah, my garage is completely separate from the house, so I didn't think about having rooms upstairs or anything like that. But make sure, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, that's just make sure you do get more. Absolutely. Going to Lowe's after this. You guys hear that crack? That was my house warming up. Whose house cracks like that? You guys actually hear that? I don't know if you heard it or not. I would like to know because it's really loud. It used to be like across the front of the house, like in this corner, it used to be like it would sound like footsteps, like someone was up in the attic, like footstepping across, except for the attic is like, it's like this there. There was like this much. I'm like, I know there's not a person up there. Oh, yeah. Verna says, so if the furnace below me has a leak, I'll be the first one to get sick. Yeah, so Verna's on the second story of an apartment building. So that's another thing to realize is it's not just what you're doing, it's what your neighbors are doing. Yeah. Yeah. Val's, your house creaks. It's old and damp. Mine's not damp, but it's old and it doesn't have wall insulation. It has ceiling insulation. So, yeah, that temperature changes, kind of makes things expand, and it's stucco on the outside. So that's another thing. That's supposed to expand. So with heat. Anyway. Verna says, I closed the door to the apartment, so Lucy will have to bark to get in. Aw. Yeah, so my parents' dog, I don't know how many of you guys watched the weekend review today, but my parents' dog, Dusty, she is half lab, half husky, which is not what I would have guessed, but that's what she is. And she is a tremendous digger. You guys saw her digging. And that is very small amount of video I have of her digging. And it's an interesting thing because she loves her walks. My parents go on walks with her 3 times a day, at least, sometimes more. Usually in the winter about 3, but in the summer they go out, all the time. And so she has free reign, they let her go where they want. There's public land behind. There's some owned land. Where you saw her dig, like it's an area where people have dumped soil, and the owners know that they're out there doing that. But yeah, it is really fun to watch her because she'll be on something and just go for it. And sometimes you see a mouse scurry away and she's like, nope, it's still in here. It's so funny. Yeah, Buster says she was going to dig the hill up. She went longer than her body is in that particular one. And she had that reverse cough that dogs get, and they get a lot of dust in their nose for the next day. But she was okay. She inhaled a lot of dirt, but she has fun. She has fun with it. But it's so funny because sometimes she wants to go on a super long walk, and sometimes she wants to go for a very short walk. Like one time my mom took her in the morning. It was a very cold morning. I think that was when it was like 18 degrees. And she just went up to the next house and wanted to come back. And she's like, no, go a little further. Yeah. Verna says, wonder what she was looking for. Well, the hole was like that big when she started. So who knows? Likely a mouse. I'm going to guess it was probably some sort of mouse, but it could have been something else. They don't really have rats there. And I saw a chipmunk on the other side of the hill, but I don't think there's chipmunks in that area. Which, again, we didn't have chipmunks there when I was growing up. Yeah. And the rock looked like a quail. I know it does. I think I might have put that in my other video when I was there too. Every time it's like, oh, that looks like a quail. Yeah, but she definitely just digs. And it is funny because sometimes you'll see a little mouse come out and get past her and she doesn't even see it. Anyway, that was entertaining. That was definitely entertaining. Yeah. And we were watching the birds too. My dad put the bird feed out for them. He has tons of bird feeders and he fills them and takes them, every once in a while he'll fill them. He usually doesn't keep it full unless he feels like it. Anyway, and then so he actually just fills it and then takes them half a day to figure out oh, there's food here. And then it's like, and it's really funny because the flickers, which is a bird that's, I don't know, like that big. It's a woodpecker basically. It pecks holes in the house. That's why my parents have wind chimes on the house. And it has like, it also hunts ants in the summertime. It'll stand on an anthill and just peck into the anthill after ants. And they have this balancing thing that they do where they go on to the feeders, which are designed for like finches and stuff like that, and they'll kind of hang because they're too heavy, and they're like eating, but then their tail is like tucked up and holding against the bottom so they can hold on to it. It's really funny. Yeah. So you okay? Okay. I heard Manuel moving around. Anyway, so they're fun to watch. And then the moon and the stars, so pretty over there. Coming back, we had stars out here, but it was just like, those aren't stars. Yeah. Uh-oh, Verna, you went outside, huh? Lucy, come back in. She says, dang, it is cold outside. We had frost, which actually I did not include in that. Man, I missed some stuff. I'll have to include some of the pictures in next week's video, because I took a picture really early in the morning, like late at night, early in the morning. There's a table, like a picnic table that's out there, and it had the frost starting, and I took it by the light of the moon, and you could see the sparkles. And in the morning I took it when the frost had come up, and it was like crystallized frost. It was pretty cool. Verna says she's in now. She has to wait until it's over before she gets her last treat. Oh, well, I'm glad that Lucy is in the warm apartment now. Yeah. Anyway, what do you guys have going on? What did I miss over Thanksgiving? I mean, I was gone. I came back. All the animals were fine. The neighbor that was watching out for them did a great job and fed everybody, and they all look great. My incubators that I have testing, they are the Brincias. They are still going, so that was good. They were getting low on water, so I refilled them when I got home. But that's kind of what I'm looking for when testing them. Is there's quail eggs in there? Is how well they do, basically being neglected, because that's probably what most people are going to do, is neglect them while they're incubating, right? So they're doing pretty good. So this is 1 week. I started them last Monday, so 1 week and 1 day today. So we should have babies, not next live, but probably a day or two after. Yeah. Verna says, make me freeze and make the animal room too cool. She can wait for that dental treat. Yeah. Yeah, so part of the reason why I turn on the heater is because it is starting to dip down here at night, and then once these guys hatch, they're going to need at least 55 degrees Fahrenheit for the heat plates to work. And I mean, I'm fine with it not being as warm as what other people do, but gotta keep it warm for the little birdies. All right, Val says, I'm having a real time sexing my quail this batch. They appear to be male and look at the butt, but when vent sexed, nothing. I've kept quail for years and never got it wrong. I got my daughter to look too. Freaks they are. Oh, hi Joy. Joy's here. Welcome. Val, are they feather sexable, or are they vent sex only? So that's number 1 question. And then number 2 question is, how much light do they have right now? And how old are they? I guess that's 3 questions. Yeah, and Verna says, are they getting the right amount of light? And everybody's saying hi to Joy. Joy, I was up in Oregon this last week. So say hi to Oregon. Yeah, so if you're vent sexing in the winter, part of the issue could be that they stop breeding, and so they're breeding, like, if you're trying to sex them in the winter and by getting the foam. I was in Central Oregon, Joy. I grew up in Central Oregon. That's where my parents live. If you're trying to get the foam to come out, that's not going to happen in the wintertime if you don't have extra light on them. And they're feather sexable, but they're weird looking. Are they weird? They're weird looking feather sexable. How are you doing? Do you need to sit? Just a minute.
Yeah,
and you're using that as a cane. Is it stiffening up? Okay. Okay. Do you need help? Manuel's walking like an old man. Okay. He's in pain. He has an appointment tomorrow, so we'll see what happens. So yes, they are feather sexable. If they are feather sexable, you should be able to tell them just by the feathers, because they're feather sexable no matter what. If they are a feather sexable variety, they are feather sexable, year round. 3 weeks is when they should be able to tell. And if sometimes there's some that are like, really, what are you? And you wait till 4 weeks, and they should be definitely feather sexable by then. Good night, Dawn. Dawn's heading offline. Have a good night. Good night, Dawn. Thank you for coming. And yeah, and Verna says, are they getting at least 14 hours of daylight? Okay. So Val says, I've put extra light in today. I've never known it. Oh, the number of hours. Yeah. So if you put in extra light today, and they're at least 14 hours, I do 16 hours of light. But they're at least 14 hours. They're 8 weeks old. So they should be. So they're young, and if they haven't had the light yet, they're not going to be. They're not going to be developing their sexual characteristics, their male and female parts. It's not going to become obvious until they have that light. So give them 2 or 3 weeks. If you said you started the light today, give them 2 or 3 weeks to get going, and you should start hearing the males crow first, and then you'll start seeing their behavior with the females, and then you'll start seeing that, and really by then you'll probably have eggs too. So yeah, so make sure it's 14 to 16. Some people say 18 hours of light. Don't do 24 hours because that will stress them as well. Yeah, 8 weeks old. Yep. Yeah, and Verna's saying the same thing. You may have to wait a couple weeks after you put the lights on. Yep. But you should be able to, if they're 8 weeks old, you should definitely be able to tell what they are from the feathers. If you were just looking at for the vent to either. Now, if you have feather sexable birds and you want to learn vent sexing, a really good idea is to vent sex your feather sexable birds, because you know what it is. And then you look at their underside and you can figure out what it is just based on that, and they match, then that's good. But that wouldn't happen unless they have light. So if you have light, Give them 2 or 3 weeks and they should be visible then. Yeah. And Vay says, my spooky hatch is now 27 days old. That is appropriate. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Val says, if someone had put a picture on, I'd bet good money on what sex they were. Just can't call it with these. Okay. Okay. What color do you have? Do you know if it's a wild type, like a pharaoh or a brown, or if it's a some other color type? And Verna's asking exact same color, exact same thing that I'm asking. We're on the right track here. Great minds, like, yeah. Because some of them are a little tough, like the Manchurians, like in golds. Like I find them a little bit more like not cut and dry, but the wild type is pretty obvious. Great minds think alike. Yep. Egyptian. Okay. Yeah, those should be pretty easy to tell what they are. If they have a speckled chest, they're a female. If they have a solid chest, they're a male. And that is pretty reliable. I mean, it's very reliable for the ones that I've had. Oh, Verna's saying Egyptians can be a little hard to tell. I think they're pretty plain. I think they're pretty obvious to tell. So different people are going to have different opinions. And golden, yeah, golden are the ones that to me, there's like characteristic about their head and their chest, and there's some that I wasn't quite sure. Sometimes it isn't easy with Egyptians. Yeah, I haven't had the problem with Egyptians, but the goldens for sure. Verna, would you mind finding my Shire's golden all about the colors video for Val and put it on there? My Shire Farm, please. My Shire Farm has a video in their all about the colors playlist that has golden Manchurian. I think that's what he called it. And he explains better than I would be able to, because I had those for a while and I got rid of them. Well, I ate them mostly. Thank you, Verna. Mostly because I was having issues with, do I really know that's male? Do I really know that's female? I was really like second guessing myself a whole lot. Yeah. So Val says, I know all these things, but just not showing true. I can look at my Shire. Awesome. Yeah. And that's exactly where I was with the Goldens. And I know that there are characteristics you look for. And there were enough that were questionable to me with me wanting a feather sexable bird that I did not choose that one. Thank you very much, Verna, for posting that. So that link right below, right below you, Val, that should be to the video that my Shire made about that. So that should help. Golden and Italian. That's right. Okay. Thank you, Verna. Buster says, I weighed some today. Will be 4 weeks tomorrow. 8.4 ounces average. Cool. At 4 weeks, that's doing pretty good. I actually don't remember how old the ones are in the aviary that were born there. Were hatched there. I guess they don't get born, they get hatched. But they actually have for the food that's in there right now, it's still on the baby food. I call it baby food. I don't know. Does anybody else call it baby food? On the high protein food. 27% starter. And so I will be the next bag in. I'm going to pour some in, mix it, because I do have that long-term feeder. I'm going to pour some of the just layer crumble. It's a 16%. Same thing I feed the chicken. Same thing that I feed the adult quail. I'm going to pour that in there, mix it up, about that much in there. That's about a week's worth of food. I'm approximating, and then fill in the rest of the bag. Now my feeders, the ultimate quail feeder, It holds 2 bags if you really want it full. It's just shy of 2 bags if you're, if there's still some in there from before. Okay. So Val says, thanks, Verna. I said to my daughter, they aren't even scalping each other. Yeah, it's winter for them, so they're not breeding. They're not. And what's interesting is, so if they're 8 weeks old and you're going to process them for eating, go ahead and do that. They're going to be tasty. But when you do that, take a look at the testes of the male, because they're going to be that big, whereas in the summer they would be that big. So there is a difference, and I've seen that with ones that had light and ones that didn't have light in the winter, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah, pretty interesting. So I do have some videos on my channel about vent sexing quail, and I think once you do it a few times, you can get pretty confident at it. It's basically, there on the males, there's a bobule on backside, and you just kind of touch a little bit, squeeze a little bit, not like painful. And if foam comes out, it's there. Personally, I don't even think you have to look at press for the foam. You just say, oh, is there a bobule there? It's a male. But if you want to make sure, you do that. Now, where it can get confused is if it had just bred with a female and that female has foam in her vent. So that would be something, and they do not have the bobule there. So that would be something to check. But yeah, I encourage people that have feather sexable quail to learn the vent sexing on their feather sexable quail, because then it'll be much more obvious to you when you get to the ones that are not feather sexable. Now, I choose to raise all feather sexable because I want to know at 6 weeks, I want to know at 3 weeks, not at 6 weeks, what it is. And that's just me. That's what I prefer, and go from there. Yeah. And Verna says, Val, without light, they are not in the breeding mind. Yep, exactly. Agree. A good breeding male, when processed, you'll find their testes are large in it. Yep, exactly. They're that big. If they have enough light. And Steve says, I never press. I go by shape and bulge. Exactly. I think it's a good way to learn, but I don't think you need it all the time. Yeah. Val says, I thought after all these years I achieved this. LOL, but no. Freaks. Bought an eggs. You know what? Sometimes it happens. And I don't know where you got them from, but there might be something mixed in too. Or there might be something that you're just like, oh, this is a weird thing. I don't know. And Buster says, I only have Jumbo Wild. I have Jumbo Wild, and I have Egyptian Fee, which are a little smaller than the Jumbo Wild, but not significantly smaller. I know one of the males that was naturally hatched, I will have to process him because he's tiny. But other than that, I think the other ones might be replacing what's in there. I had 3 males and 2 females out of those 5 that survived all the way through. That's pretty cool. And Verna says, oh boy, never know what you're truly getting. You might have all males, which is possible. That is true. Yeah, you might have all one or all the other. And Steve says, speaking of eggs, 35% off my share eggs tonight. That ends tonight, right? Yes, absolutely. Do it if you're wanting eggs. Val says, Steve, I did that for years, only had to glance, but I've been sold freaks. Are they quail? Are they Katrinix quail? Maybe we should start there. Verna says, I have Jumbo Wilds, Jumbo Whites, and Egyptian Fees too. Steve says, yep, today is last day. That is awesome that they are able to do that for people. Buster says, Steve, I will have to check it out. Thanks. Yep. All right. Did anybody get some? I've got 16. You might have 16 dinner plates. Oh boy. Yeah, so did anybody take advantage of homesteading related Black Friday sales? That's something. I got Black Friday sales, but I think the only homesteading related one would be really my YouTube related one. I got some external hard drives for my videos. Steve says, I never said I was perfect at it. I've had a crower with my girls and an egg with my boys. And Verna says, exactly, because yeah, and my one that was Nana, who has now passed, she was the broodiest of them all, and I brought her into the brooder to mother the babies, and she did a fabulous job for 3 hatches, I think, before she passed. But she was one that when she was younger, she crowed. Now, the rest of them around her, the rest of the batch, the very small batch that I got from someone that was unreliable, she was the only girl. So was that survival? I don't know. Yeah. Verna says, my mixer, Katrina, and gifts, but they were early sales. Awesome. Oh, that's right. The ones that came back to you. That makes sense. Steve says, I've not seen anything I really need on sale, but then again, I don't stand in line for a discount. Yeah. Yeah. And Verna says, I do all my shopping online. Yeah, I did shopping online. I got external hard drives and a microphone, a good microphone, from Best Buy for my channel stuff. So hopefully my sound quality will be better. Other than that, I got some other things online, but not related to, homesteading type stuff or YouTube. Yeah. Oh yeah, Verna got the mixer. Yeah, it's 50% off somewhere. I saw somewhere else it was 35% off. She's talking about KitchenAid. I mean, freeze dryer has a sale. The Harvest Guard had a sale that I did not need more lids, and so I didn't. They had it for existing customers, so I didn't do that. What else has things before we run out of time, right? Freeze dryer supplies has a sale going on. Yeah. I don't know who else. Anyway. Farmers Defense. Those sleeve things that I have. They have a sale going on right now. I don't know. There's other places. And Verna says, I do all my shopping online. That makes sense. Val says, I only shop online. I'm agoraphobic. They says, Yepers, I understand that, Val. Yep. Oh, and Val wants to know what Verna made in her mixer. Yeah. Buster says, I've got 100 eggs in lockdown, supposed to hatch tomorrow. Good luck, Buster. Good luck. And Verna says, I haven't used it yet, Val. Too many things going on. I understand that. My dad got me a weather station like he has that goes up like on a pole on top of a building. He gave that to me my birthday or last Christmas, something. I haven't even opened it. I've had time to like do that, deal with where to put it and all that. Yeah. Val says, I hope they aren't all boys, Buster. Stu says, the only thing I need is an enclosed trailer to pull behind my truck for QuailCon 24. Oh boy. Wow. And Steve says, hope you get all 101. Buster. I think he only has 100, not 101. Unless it's big and there's twins. I don't know. It's happened. Not to me, but other people. Oh boy. Yeah, I am glad I'm back to hatching. I only have whatever 5 times 12 is? 60? Is that what I have? 60 in there because I have 5 little incubators that I'm testing. And then after that, I'm going to wait. Well, I'll start collecting once they hatch. Probably half a weekend to that. I'll start collecting what after they hatch. And for a Nux batch, and that will be good. I actually need to put light on the other aviary here pretty quick. And I have a video I want to do before that point, but I need to make sure my camera equipment is appropriate and get all that done before I do that video. Then I can put the light on. All right. Verna says, a couple of my jumbo wilds will lay double yolkers that are between 20 and 22 grams. Yep. Big. A lot of them will be processed, Buster says. Then wish for females. They get bigger. Put it out into the universe. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to be back hatching. I have some eggs in there that I don't think will hatch, that were not like the prime eggs, but I just needed to kind of have everything going. So, yeah. But, yeah, if you are hatching them, then I hope that they are female if you're going to process, because they're going to be bigger. Yeah. All right, Val, did we solve your potential issue? Hopefully looking at the video will help. And when your light is going for 2-3 weeks, you should be able to check it out on there and but on the birds themselves and see what's going on. Val says, I got some 3 days old and some more due on 2nd. Wow. The 3rd is when the nest boxes go in with bunnies. We will see if they're pregnant. And we will see if Parmesan is staying. And yeah. So hopefully they have babies and go there. Val says, I will keep you updated on the freaks. Oh, boy. Well, if anything, they will eat well, right? They'll be good on a plate. Brenda says, good luck and happy hatching, Val and Buster. Yes, good luck. Good luck. We'll hope for females, Val. We'll hope for females for you. Yeah, I'm actually needing some males because I need to replace this hatch. I don't expect to be tremendously good. Even though it's a test hatch, my males in my aviary, which are the wild type, they are getting really old. And so I'm guessing that their productivity has gone down a little bit. We'll see. We'll see what kind of hatch rate we get with this. Hopefully good. Hopefully good. Yeah. It's funny because when you want males, you get females. When you want females, you get males sometimes. And it's like, it's a 50-50 chance, but sometimes you're like, really? Is it? But is it? Yeah. You may have 16 if you want them. No, I'm good. I'm good. I like my 2 groups. I'm good with 2 groups. If I had a bigger place, I think I would have a different setup. If I had a bigger place, I would have one aviary for each of the breeders. So like if I'm doing different varieties, I would have them separate for the breeders. I would have one aviary for grow outs, and I would have one aviary for extra male. Like, and that aviary would be like really far away from the rest of them, so they can't hear each other. And then hopefully it would crow less. But that would be what I would do, is have a really big grow out one where you could just throw whatever it is in there to grow out, and they can they can just be, and you can take them out when they're ready to harvest, or take them out when you're selling them, or all of that. So yeah, I think that's what I would do if I had actual land. I am on 7,000 square feet lot, so it's not that big. Yeah. Verna's has a reminder she's live on Wednesday evenings. I think I might be missing this Wednesday. I think I'm back on that schedule. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Val says, I treated myself this year to a proper setup. What does a proper setup mean? I want to know. Oh, yeah. And also, I would have like a brooder room with actual stuff not in the house. Or a room that is only that in the house. That would be fine. But, having it as a mixed media is not as good as it sounds, or is just as good as it sounds. I don't know. Yeah, I want to know what the proper setup is. Okay, a 16 by 10 shed. That's good. Good. You have your brooder in there too, or just the adults? Are you brooding inside? Because I brood inside because I don't have anything outside that heats. Plus, I like to see them. I like to, they run around and stuff. Yeah. You had it fitted out with cages. That sounds so fancy the way you said it. You're like, I just fitted it out. Yeah. That is great. You brood inside. Yeah. Yeah, I think having like a heated brooding room would be really nice. I mean, you could switch to, the lights like my shower uses or something, but I actually really like using the brooder plates. I think it works really well. What works even better is to have a Nana in there. So if there's a Nana in there, I mean, that beats everything. McAfee wants to scan right now. I'm telling it needs to wait. So if there was any weirdness with the signal, that was it. Yeah. Does anybody on here brood outside? Like in a barn or in a shed or something? Buster says, I brood inside, it gets rough. Yep. That's why I'm asking if anybody has an outdoor situation, or like, by outdoor I mean outside of the house. So like a shed or all that. Yeah. Val says, I've always made do, and now my kids are all gone. I wanted something nice just for me. It's my only pleasure. That makes sense. Spend money on the stuff that you spend time on. That makes sense. For sure. Yeah. When I see properties out there, I always like, oh, I could do that. I could do that. I could do that. It's like, oh, let's find a perfect property, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I would wonder how brooding goes over winter, because like that's the thing for me with quail, is that it is an animal that you can have them going all year round, as long as as long as you have the temperatures okay to brood, then that's fine. Yeah. So like external temperatures are needed for the brooder plates, and then the lights are the external temperatures. So Verna, I'm guessing there's something else. She says, oh my goodness, I went to the bathroom, and when I came back out to check on Mooney, I heard deep scratching. Those babies were really active, scratching inside their nest box. Yep, they can be active. And it can be, if they're trying to get away from, like if they're trying to get warmer, that could be a concern. But if they're underneath all those stuff, then that should be okay. Yeah, rabbits is what she's talking about, Val. But yeah, they'll scratch the box. They're quite wiggly and quite active, and Like, they don't just sit there and grow. They definitely wiggle around. And they will wiggle too to get out of the nest box. So that's something to keep an eye on as they get older. And how old are they? They said 8 days. So they'll be opening their eyes this week. They should be opening their eyes this week. And so once they open their eyes, they kind of see more about what's around them. They explore a little more. So you might have to be checking them and popping them back into the nest box. Something else you can do, I know you're using a cardboard box right now, but you can make a lip. You might check one of my videos. In fact, I have a video on how to make a nest box, but you can see that you can cut a piece of cardboard to add to your cardboard, make a little lip so that they can't jump out, and that should help. Yeah. Buster says, I blame Verna for my quail addiction, but it is great, and I love it. Good. These are good things. Yeah, Havana rabbits. So she has a smaller rabbit breed for meat. And that's what they're trying to do. Yeah, is to get warmer. You can put the fur over them too. That's okay to do. If they're too warm, they can get out of it. What wouldn't be okay is if it was a blanket, because they can't get through a blanket. If it's fur and straw, they can get through that. Yeah. Val says they are nocturnal, aren't they? They are not fully nocturnal. Rabbits are really up any time of day. And the babies, they're called kits. They actually are active like all the time. I mean, they sleep with their milk bellies. They only get fed a couple times a day, 2 or 3 times. And I've seen them feed at night. Very rarely have I seen them feed during the day. So it's usually at night, which makes sense. And mom doesn't really pay attention to them very much outside of those times, unless they hear them squeaking. If they hear them squeaking, then mom will be like, what's going on? But other than that, they don't. Val says it's 3:36 a.m. here. Oh my goodness, it's early. You're powering through. I appreciate it, Val. Verna says every other day one will escape from the nest box. Mooney makes sure that I know and have me put them back in. That is awesome. How does she let you know? Does she make sounds? Oh, they're trying to get out of the nest box. Yeah, you might want to put like if here's the wall of the nest box and here's the inside, put something like this so that when they jump to get out, they just hit that and fall back. That would be good. But how does she tell you? Because I'm curious. I only ever lost one to the elements that did that. And it must have done it in the middle of the night. And that was it. Yeah. Yep. Buster wants to know from Val, where are you from? I think Val is in UK. She's in the UK. All right. Oh, she shows them to you? The reason one escapes from the hole she chewed in the box. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're going to like your metal boxes when they come in. I have wooden boxes, but you're going to like something that she can't chew through. And I don't think you're going to have an issue with it getting too cold with it being metal because you're inside. So that's good at least. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so supposedly rigatoni and ravioli might be pregnant. I'm trying not to get excited about that because I think one of them had one fall off and the other one had 2. Rigatoni's so funny. She's just in love with Parmesan. She's just like, oh, you're the greatest. And she was, yeah. She was trying to let him mount, but was always in the wrong spot. He couldn't get behind her. So, yeah. We will see what happens. I tested them, meaning put it back in, and then they, were not were not receptive to him. And so that's supposed to mean they're pregnant, but that's what happened last time. So we will see. We will see. Yeah, that's what I have to say. This week I am going to be putting penne and risotto, which are the two names of new bunnies. Going to be putting them in the Racken house, so that'll be good. And yeah, thank you, Verna. She says good luck with the bunnies. Yeah, thank you. And so they will have a transition to be living over chickens, and we'll see how that goes. I will probably also, I trimmed back the hot lip sage when I had the person come and take care of everyone here. And when I did that, like there's a bunch of material, and so I put it in with the chickens. The chickens don't really eat that, but they kind of scratch around in it and mess with it, and so I figured I'd give them something to do. And so there was a sorry, I just lost my train of thought because I was reading a comment. I'll get back to it. Anyway, yeah, Verna, Meatball is the one that passed away that had the babies that died in childbirth. The male is Parmesan. And so I don't have a place to get a male from yet. I do need to start looking, I think, though, because I think I do need to replace him at some point sooner rather than later. Yeah. I was talking about the chickens. So the chickens, I'm just going to have to take that massive vegetation out and stomp it down, break the sticks and stuff. I think if the rabbits are going to be pooping over them. So that was what I was going to say. Buster says, Katrina, hope they both have you some kits. Thank you, Buster. And Val says, lovely talking to you all. I'm going to get a cuppa and try to sleep after I've checked my chicks. Night all. Don't forget to go to get those carbon monoxide alarms. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you for sharing your story, Val. And have a wonderful evening, a wonderful morning, as the case may be. And as Verna says, dream sweet. Yeah. And Buster says, have a good night. Yep. Yeah, so I'm going to have to start looking. I know Craigslist has a bunch of them during the summer, but I need to probably start contacting some people on Craigslist that are maybe selling some and look around. It sounds like there's a lot of rabbitries over in the Sacramento area that are more like real rabbitries. And then I actually just need to actually actively look. I might go to the feed store, and I know they have, well, I need to go to feed store anyway, but they usually have postings on there on the back side of the door for all sorts of stuff. So I will take a look at that and maybe inquire. And they usually know like who has what and all that. And so I don't know what breed I would be looking for. I would be looking for a larger meat rabbit that is good to handle. And at this point, I think I'm looking for somebody that is probably proven. And yeah, go from there. Or, I don't know. There's lots of potential options, but yeah, that's what I would think, is that I would be looking for a buck that's proven. I don't know that it has to be, but I want a larger, a large male, which is because I have large females, and go from there. So yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, if anybody knows anybody near Gilroy that has rabbits that are good, let me know. Because the thing about mine is I don't really know where the person I got them from. I know it was somewhere in the Santa Cruz Mountains. So I would not be looking that direction. I would be looking the other direction. And hopefully find a good one. And then figure out what's going on with Parmesan. He might stay around and he might be adopted out. It would be nice to have him as a pet, someone, because he is a sweet, sweet boy. But yeah, just the last 2 times, he's never been like an enthusiastic lover. He's a very sweet boy that likes to clean ears and likes to make sure they're nice and comfortable and that his feet are clean in between. But he's never been a gung-ho buck. So yeah. And I mean, for 2 rabbits, I mean, I had 3 and then I had, 2 females later. Like, that's fine. But yeah. Anyway, there's my story. It's sad. But Parmesan is likely not. Hopefully hopefully his stuff is working, but I think I need to look for another male anyway. I don't know. Was that a rambling enough answer for you, Verna? All right, guys. I am thinking that we should all go get carbon monoxide alarms, and that we might be done with our conversation unless someone has something that they need to talk about or want to talk about. I might be calling it a night. You hope I don't have to get rid of Parmesan. He's on the way out anyway. Like, I mean, not on the way out like dying. He's like, I think his productivity as a breeding male is the time is limited for that. But I do think that he will make a great pet for somebody. And if I could keep him, I could, I would, but I don't know that I could keep. I don't think I could justify keeping 2 males if one of the males isn't being productive. But we're not eating him or anything. He's earned his place as a pet somewhere. Yeah. How long do they breed for? So these are. He's my first buck, so I don't know how old he was. I don't know how old when I know how old the females were that came with him. I do not know how old he was. He didn't come with any sort of anything. The other girls came with Excel spreadsheet to print out. So I don't know how old he is. But from what I've heard, 4 to 5 years is pretty good. And he's taken us through 2 years. And I know he had at least 1 year before. So he may have had years before that. So, or maybe 2 years. So he's coming up on the end of his breeding days, which is fine. But he is a sweet boy. Yeah. And Verna says, yeah, when they passed, the ladies, when they passed, I would have started looking for another buck. I probably should have, but I have so many other things going on, and it's a sad thing. So yeah, but I need to be doing that for sure. I need to set up a space. I guess we could have the temporary holding space, because you do, whenever you bring an animal on, I do want to quarantine. So yeah, I have space for that. I have a portable hutch for that. So yeah. Steve says I read 2 to 3 years on average for males. Yeah, it probably varies with the breed, I would imagine, and probably other things. But yeah, I know that he's on his last breeding days. So I hope they get this one more batch out of him, and maybe another. But I have to find another male. So yeah. All right, Verna says, have a blessed night, everyone. And you guys have a wonderful time. I will be back next Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, for another chat. And I enjoy these. But yeah, carbon monoxide detectors, go to the store now. If you don't already have them, or get more. And also, be careful. Be careful with your tools. Be careful with your work. Be careful with your health. There you go. All right, Ed. Oh, home from the hospital with her dad. Going to spend some time with her. That is a good thing. I'm hoping that dad is okay. And yeah, have a wonderful night. We will see you guys next week, guys. Have a wonderful night and a great week. Enjoy the week. Bye.